What's up, Blue Collar Millionaires? Back again with Chris. We're going to talk about branding today, how important it is, how you can make a lot of money off your brand.
We're just tweaking it, kind of sidestepping it, staying within the same vein, but tweaking our message.
So one day I was asking a couple of friends of mine, we were playing basketball. I said, what would you think of my brand, my image? And he says, no insurance, shit work.
Wow.
Guys, I don't want around my wife.
And stop selling that over the phone, and now we're sending solution experts out.
There was this like 6-month thing where people were asking, where's Kevin?
Yeah.
I need to talk to Kevin.
I don't want to be known as the man for this company. All of the businesses I've purchased, nobody knows me as the man.
I got to make the Gutter King the thing, and I'm just somebody who works for it.
America's backbone was built on blue-collar business grit, grind, and muscle. This is where you stop working for the business, and the business starts working for you.
What's up, Blue Collar Millionaires? Back again with Chris. We're going to talk about branding today, how important it is, how you can make a lot of money off your brand, and how so many people don't do it. Chris, your branding.
Your customers are the best person to listen to. I mean, at the end of the day, you want to listen to the one that's giving you money because they're telling you what they want. And recently, my core business has gone through a rebrand. And I'm not saying like a completely different rebrand because we got 8 years of brand equity that's been built up. But we're just tweaking it, kind of sidestepping it, staying within the same vein, but tweaking our message. And then our logo actually tweaked slightly. And it really got me thinking about how important this is. And I've heard other entrepreneurs that have done a complete rebrand at $30 and $40 million revenue marks. And that's a very expensive rebrand to do. So if you can capture it when you're lower in revenue, then it's a much better position to be able to make that tweak and pivot. And it's not as costly of a shock to your marketplace and company. So one of the things I was thinking about when we were doing our rebranding is, what is our data telling us from previous years? And then also, what is my goals telling me on how I'm going to be able to get there? And so my core business I'm referencing was a carpet cleaning business that then developed to a restoration mitigation business for water, fire, mold. And I was still hanging on to the carpet cleaning or floor cleaning services because it was still a decent amount of revenue. But when I look back at the customers' calls and what we were going to do for inspections, first of all of our sales were done over the phone except for these mold inspections. These mold inspections we would go do in-house, but we did not treat them like an opportunity to sell. We treated it just like if you're selling your home, you get the home inspection and they're telling you what all's wrong with it, but there's no, here's what it's going to cost to fix it. And we did provide a cost to fix it. The problem is we didn't have a sales process with that, and we didn't have a way to make it affordable by having consumer financing. So that was one thing. And then when I thought, okay, well, my customers are telling me what they really want and where their pain point is and what and that they think I can solve that pain point. And the pain point was health, where I was more focused on aesthetics.
Yeah.
I'm looking at clean carpet. Neighbors, family, everybody feels better visually when something looks clean. Yes, there's an health aspect, a clean air aspect to that, but it was more of, we're getting this clean because I've got family and friends coming over. Commercial, we need to get it clean because it looks awful and our customers are complaining. And so that was aspect. So as I started looking at that, I was like, my customers telling me that they're willing to pay a lot of money for the preservation of their health and the concern of their health. Because I looked back into those conversations and there were several points like, hey, I'm concerned because I'm buying this house and my family's moving into it. We've got a new kid coming. My elderly mom is moving in, or my elderly mom is living in this and we just found out and it smells musty when we walk in the home. So there was always a concern or actual health issues taking place. And when you look at the health and beauty industry, it's very, very large, tons of money flowing through that. So that, looking at what my customers said, required us to pivot. But then I also noticed with my current name, it said Absolute Cleaning and Restoration. And I would have customers that would say, oh, you do janitorial cleaning? Can you come give us a quote? We didn't offer janitorial cleaning. the restoration was, hey, we're in here sucking up water, cleaning up the microbiology that comes in with sewage or anything else. And that was why we left the cleaning sitting there, even though we did start as a floor cleaning company. So I said, well, the customer's telling me their perception of my brand currently, and that's a janitorial company. And I don't want to be seen as janitorial because we don't offer that. So we decided to drop the cleaning, leave the restoration, because that is more home improvement term based off my customers, because they'd say, oh, can you come in and remodel my kitchen? And they would think, so that's how they associated the word restoration. But then I also noticed that my customers were telling me, hey, as you're cruising through town, we see your vans everywhere. Well, that's because we have a black van with a real royal blue font in our name on the Absolute side. The cleaning and restoration underneath it wasn't that memorable. All they remembered was Absolute. They'd say, oh, yeah, you own Absolute, right? And I'd say, yeah. So all of this information is what I took from my customer, and that's what made us pivot. And so my question is to the listeners, what is your customer telling you currently about your brand and the direction that you need to go? And then take it a step further and say, is that going to get you to your goal? Because if your goal is 10 million, how many carpet cleanings at an average of $400 do you have to sell to get to 10 million? That's a lot of vans. That's a lot of technicians. That's a lot of training. That's a lot of management. That's a lot of quality control. And can your market sustain that quantity of cleanings per day, per week, per month? And I was like, my market can't sustain that. And so I was like, what do? We need bigger ticket items. What gets us to bigger ticket items? Mold remediation, and then moisture control, like the roofing and the gutters, and crawl space encapsulation, again, a prevention for mold. So it's all around the health. Now, we do have a low ticket for the air duct cleaning, and that gets us a lot of call volume in, but then that allows us to come in. We stop selling that over the phone, and now we're sending solution experts out, and in the process, we give a complimentary healthy home assessment while we're looking at the air ducts, and it gives us a chance to sell our other services that are bigger ticket items. It's the same way the 5-minute oil changes do. You come in for the oil change at a discount, but then they look at your tires. They look at your last time you had a radiator flush, a transmission flush, the wiper blades, the cabin filters, anything else. Those are all the upgrades, and that's really where they're making their margins. The oil change, they're not making anything on that. So it's 100% dependent on the upsell of it. Most people never think about all of this.
So I like that. You listen to your customers. And if you don't know what your customers do, you can ask them.
Absolutely.
So I remember I asked a guy who was older than me. I was in my 20s. I never used to have branded stuff when I was doing stuff. I had like magnets and stuff. I thought it was a waste of money. I had a lot of work coming in. I thought it was, even though I saw it and I thought it was cool, I was like, I don't want to pay for that. So one day I was asking a couple of friends of mine, we were playing basketball. I asked this older guy, and he had ran into me one day with the trailer and everything. I said, what would you think of my brand, my image? And he says, no insurance, shit work.
Wow.
Guys I don't want around my wife.
Wow.
And then he says, not you personally. That's just what I saw when I saw you, because I thought you got a nice car. I thought you would have had a nicer setup.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. But when I look at that now, because now he was in his 40s, I was in my 20s. Now I think the same way. I like nice branded vehicle, nice uniform, not a T-shirt, like maybe a polo. They got some khakis, because I got teenage girls. I want nice people in my house. And then I also think if I call them, they're going to come back and do it.
Yep.
And I've created my own image. Somebody came into my driveway. You've seen my driveway. I got the turnaround, and it's steep. And we had a furniture rental come over one time, and the guy came in with a box truck, and he went into my concrete. He did it, and I showed the thing. I couldn't get anybody to answer. It was unmarked truck, crappy website. You got the cheapest price, and I just ended up fixing it myself. So, like in my head, I'm like, that's what I expected when I see that. That's why I paid for that. So now I have an image, so it matters to me. But when I was in my 20s, I was just thinking about saving money or really doing it myself. So if you want the people who live in $1 million houses that are 50 years old, who don't care about paying $500 because you came and unclogged their toilet, because I don't care.
They're paying for quality.
that then be that person. So you have to be that image. And then the last part of that is social media is a great place to brand. I think people make mistakes on it all the time.
Oh, I agree 100%.
I get you can put your kid. I'm not saying don't do that. I used to do that more. Now I almost never do it because I just want it to be about business. And you say, well, you should have your personal page and then you can have your business page. But I know this from messaging people. If you message from your personal page, they answer from Kevin Marin. But when I did it from other stuff, like trying to get subcontractors, they almost never do.
Yeah.
They're skeptical.
Yeah.
So you can still have a business page, but you should have I would do both and have them aligned.
Yeah.
I'd be showing jobs, showing you work, and showing you be a part of the community. If you want to show yourself as a family person,
Yeah.
all that stuff matters because you're thinking it, and your social media is your website. I check it.
Yeah. My brand, I don't compartmentalize my brand because my personal brand is my business brand. And I've referenced this before, but I remember Jay-Z in one of his songs, he said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a business man, meaning he is the business. And that's how I think about myself is, so on my personal brand, I talk about entrepreneurial stuff. I also show that I am a family man, but whatever I want to push and display, and typically it's going to be something that gives me opportunities for deals. That is what I'm displaying because at the end of the day, I want to bring in as much money as possible because I believe I'm a good steward of money. And I believe the more money, that is a tool that I can impact things around me with. And because I believe my nature is good, I feel like I will impact in a good way. And I actually had a guy that we were down in Scottsdale, and Ken Goodrich, they call him Godfather of HVAC.
Yeah.
And so I ended up getting his cell number because he got wind of our dinner and decided he wanted to come to the dinner, him and his partner. And so I sent him my contact info, and he said, how did he put it? He said, where's your company name on your contact card? Do better. Very direct.
Yeah, he's kind of
and so I took it just like I should have took it because I would see him as a mentor. He's way further than me in business. And so I immediately went into my contact card and I upgraded my picture from a generic collared picture to my core business brand, the one that I represent more and the one that it's just my core. Let's leave it at that. It's my core business. So that was what my picture showed with me in one of those league logoed shirts. And then the company was my core business, where before I had like 4 or 5 different things, every little thing that I'm involved. And at the end, it just causes confusion for the recipient on it. So I was like, it's okay to be recognized by one thing. But then on my social profile, I've got, let's talk about anything business or real estate related, because I'm also into real estate. I have a portfolio of rentals. So I like to have those conversations because I want those deals to keep coming through the pipeline. And that's what I post. I try to post that on the reels, on the feed. But now my business page, each business has its own business page, and that's what it's showing. And then I will occasionally share from that business page as well to get exposure and to let people know I'm involved on it also.
I like that you did that. And that's kind of like, I was going to say this is kind of what you were talking about, but you look at 35 people coming to our Atlanta dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are a business man, like Jay-Z. They created it. And I hope that I'm evolving to that. But for a long time, I was gutter king.
Yeah.
And some of these young guys are going to be, they're the landscaper guy. That's their thing. That's okay. And as they get bigger, they'll become something else.
Right.
Because that's how I look at it now. Now it's kind of more, I'm blue collar millionaire.
Yeah. Right.
And it's kind of encompasses a lot of things. And that's what you're doing too. But I was doing this. So I want that to be known. And I look at somebody like Kyle Million. You can't name a business he owns real quick.
That's right.
But he owns a lot of them.
That's right.
You know what he's doing.
That's right.
And that's his image and brand. That's much better than if he was the #1 chimney guy in San Diego, which is cool. Yeah. But he has a bigger image.
And honestly, I'm rethinking it as we're having this conversation right now, because really that is, I'm involved in more than just my core business. And so you have to decide, what are you going to represent? Because you can't, as you referenced Kyle, I think I don't know, he's probably close to 30 different businesses he's got his hand in at this point.
Right.
He's not going to list 30 businesses on his profile and on his business card and on his LinkedIn and whatever. So what does he list himself as? A business investor and someone that trains other people how to buy businesses instead of start them up and bootstrap them like the typical way.
And that's the evolution of it. We talked about that yesterday on Boardroom Elite when you were teaching branding is there was a time where every customer, even when I had 1,000 of them, complexes, they all knew me.
Yep.
It was me, then Gutter King. And I said, man, I got to switch this. I got to make the Gutter King the thing. And I'm just somebody who works for it. And that's helped me out immensely in the sale and then the thing. I'm out of it. But there was this 6-month thing where people were asking, where's Kevin?
Yeah.
I need to talk to Kevin. Kevin that's not his cell phone anymore. I was because I was getting 40 calls a day.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this. So once you get to a certain point, I don't know what it is, maybe $2-3 million in sales. Maybe it's earlier.
It's earlier than that.
Maybe $1 million.
Yeah.
You got to make it about the business and not so much you.
Yeah, I think somewhere around half a million is when I started transitioning and having someone answering the phone, and then they became my gatekeeper. But I had to literally tell them because everybody still wanted to get to me. I was like, take a message, and as they're taking the message, if it's something that you can handle, then that's when you say, "Oh, I can handle you. I can handle that for you.
Yes, how you
tell me
answer it.
more details." And then at that point, you start training, and then when I would get the text message, I would say, "Let me send you over to my team because they're going to be able to handle this better than me at this point." And so I just start shifting the power and lifting them up above me when I'm wanting to shed that responsibility. And that is one of those traps some people get themselves caught in when founders are trying to grow and graduate, and that's why they can't put the phone down because everybody still knows them as the resource, and they have to put the resource as their team. Now and I remember making that shift and saying, I don't want to be known as the man for this company. All of the businesses I've purchased, nobody knows me as the man. I've got an operator, and they don't if I didn't tell someone, they didn't even know that I was involved in it. And I'll be honest, I like that. Because now you get to go do what you want to do, and you still reap the benefits, and you talk in the background in the management meetings, and you still help guide and cast a vision and problem solve, but you're not customer facing as much, and it gives you more time to network and brainstorm and draw good vision for new stuff.
Do stuff that moves the needle.
Doing stuff that moves the needle, exactly. So I want everybody listening to this to ask themselves, what is your brand telling the customer? What do they feel about your brand? Think about the 5 senses. I mean, there's more than just visual in the 5 senses, and all 5 senses, some are going to be stronger than others when you're thinking about this portion, but all 5 senses are being used when people are thinking about your brand. I mean, do you look rigid? Does your people look rigid when they come in? Are the uniforms looking like it was, what's that starch that was used back in the day? I remember my mom, she would take the white Sunday shirts and starch them down, and it was like a piece of cardboard. And, is that what it looks like? Or do you have nice looking polos, dry fit, soft, and that makes you more approachable?
Yeah.
Or do you look like someone that's there just to get the job done, no personality, because that's your appearance when you're walking in? Think of all 5 senses. Think of what your customers have been telling you, and ask them if you're a newer startup, and then think about what you think. And this is a little more dangerous. I'm almost hesitant to say this, but think about what you think when you see other brands, because we don't want to buy out of our own pockets. And that's another trap that a lot of entrepreneurs will do, is they try to sell the way they buy, and their customers are not them. Your customers are living in $1 million plus homes. You are not living in $1 million plus home because you are on your way up, grinding it out right now. So don't try to buy like you, buy like them.
Exactly.
Or sell like them.
Big mistake I made when I was 20.
Yeah.
I wasn't selling to myself. I was selling to me now.
Yeah.
But I was thinking well, they want it for less.
Yeah.
They don't.
All right, Blue Collar Millionaires. We'll see you next week. And
talk about Elite.
You want to talk about Elite real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell them about Boardroom Elite.
All right.
A lot of people don't even know we have this.
Boardroom Elite is a group we have. We got about 40 high-level entrepreneurs in there. We meet virtually every Thursday at 2 p.m. It's a private group. It is a paid group. It's $1,000 a month. It's no contracts. You could do it for 1 month. You could do it for 6 months. The guys in there have been staying month after month. If you want to look at it as an ROI, a lot of people do. Look at it over 6 months. You're going to spend $6,000. If you listen to and implement just 8% of the stuff that Chris and I teach, you're going to make 10 times that. All I do is tell you all the stuff, and Chris, that works, that makes millions of dollars, all the stuff that works, doesn't work. It's no theory. It's no nonsense, just straight to it.
And the relationships that you get.
Yeah.
We've got a guy that's got a $4 million revenue increase just from one relationship he made inside of Boardroom Elite. And that's what most people don't even factor into the ROI. So if it's something you're interested in, go to bluecollarmillionaire.net, bluecollarmillionaire.net.
And you get connections with us.
Yeah.
And we've invested in businesses.
We put
and
money
there's a guy,
behind it.
Steven Starrick, if he's into that roofing business, I'm down.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll give him money.
See you guys on the next episode.